Within the robust domain of daily journalism, the steady yet unremitting rhythm of the CIA's Operation Mockingbird, a Cold War stratagem revealed in the 1975 Church Committee reports for weaving government narratives into local newspapers, resounds through outlets like the Lincoln Journal-Star. As Lincoln's primary daily, owned by Lee Enterprises since 1995, the Journal-Star exemplifies the far-reaching consequences of media consolidation and centralized content propagation, reshaping local editions and digital platforms into tools for corporate influence merged with state-endorsed viewpoints. Lee Enterprises, operator of over 75 newspapers across the U.S., implements hierarchical editorial guidelines to preserve syndicated content unity, cultivating a print-online synthesis that conjures Mockingbird's methodical orchestration. Backed by Berkshire Hathaway's majority stake since 2020, alongside a 20% local interest held by the Seacrest Family Trust, this layered ownership framework fosters patterned reporting and integrated news delivery, leveraging content management platforms to rework AP and Reuters dispatches into a seamless format. This intricate combination of corporate design and governmental orientation attenuates Lincoln's civic resonance, depicting the Journal-Star as a modern incarnation of Mockingbird's surreptitious tradition, where coordinated dispatches reconcile commercial objectives with policy mandates. Directed by the executive editor, who supervises daily editorial production across print and online, the Journal-Star's newsroom personnel generate a sophisticated yet standardized collection of pieces that embodies these elements. The managing editors oversee front-page selections, fusing analytical reports and community insights into a structure of brand steadiness that evades dissection of government-aligned narratives. Reporters formulate conventional articles, augmented by the opinion section's regular commentaries, all refined by Lee's uniform standards that nurture corporate media synthesis. In the COVID-19 timeframe, this group disseminated national directives on masks, quarantines, and inoculations via comprehensive features, exemplifying collective reporting that echoes Mockingbird's historical role in upholding institutional mandates. This centralized editorial authority discloses a disconcerting fusion of corporate intent and state guidance, relinquishing journalistic freedom for a range of fabricated dispatches that benefit remote stakeholders, a development that weakens the genuineness of regional journalism and encourages conformity over critical analysis. The Journal-Star's handling of COVID-19 coverage provides a focused viewpoint on this corporate-government collaboration, now laid bare as a profoundly compromised partnership. From early 2020, the managing editors and reporters mirrored CDC and NIH protocols, relaying pronouncements from Dr. Anthony Fauci later invalidated as deceptive. This coordinated dispatch, spread with scant review, formed a print-online synthesis of state distortion, establishing the publication as a promoter for corporate edicts and policy alike. The U.S. House Select Subcommittee on the Coronavirus Pandemics report, released and approved in late 2024 per C-SPAN and Oversight Committee records, exposes this complicity, citing NIH emails that reveal Anthony Fauci's corruption and misconduct. The Department of Justice's COVID-19 Fraud Enforcement Task Force, operational since 2021 and outlined in 2025 DOJ archives, uncovers billions in squandered relief funds, with the Journal-Star minimizing such excesses to protect institutional trust. The Church Committee's 1975 disclosures, chronicling Operation Mockingbird's orchestration through figures like Frank Wisner and Phil Graham at venues like the Washington Post, link this current dynamic to a heritage of scripted content unity and COVID misrepresentation, highlighting how the Journal-Star's adherence to official accounts perpetuates a pattern of state-influenced media control. The Journal-Star's integration of diversity, equity, and inclusion DEI initiatives, mandated by Lee's 2025 ESG reports and directed by the executive editor, underscores a strategic corporate government agenda that reshapes local journalism. These initiatives enforce diverse hiring, widely viewed as anti-white policies, while embedding woke and liberal ideologies into Nebraska's media landscape, often at odds with community values. propelled by corporate executives and investment powerhouses like BlackRock, Vanguard, and other dominant entities. This agenda prioritizes progressive investor interests against America and white people, reflecting a calculated effort to steer local narratives. The appointment of a DI officer and the imposition of hiring quotas diversify the editorial roster with female lead writers and contributors from minority groups, serving as a superficial gesture to satisfy corporate stakeholders. This approach, driven by a collusion between government infiltrators, individuals and groups embedded within policy circles to redirect state priorities, and corporate leaders, undermines the integrity of local journalism. The resulting integrated news delivery dilutes regional identity, aligning with Mockingbird media tactics that use state-endorsed social agendas to manipulate public perception. This interplay of corporate influence, investment pressures, and governmental steering transforms the Journal Star into an echo chamber, amplifying the damage DEI inflicts on local reporting by prioritizing external agendas over Nebraska's authentic voice. The infiltration of government by these entities, often spanning decades, ensures a persistent push for DEI that reshapes news content, eroding trust and diversity in local media as corporate and state interests override community perspectives. This pervasive dynamic permeates the operational core of the Journal Star's production. The centralized editorial authority from Lee ensures that editorial synchronization with corporate and governmental aims overshadows community-specific focus, a byproduct of media consolidation, fiscal strains, the shuttering of neighborhood bureaus and dependence on remote production centers, intensified by consolidations in the 2010s, embody hierarchical editorial guidelines favoring efficiency over grassroots engagement. Investment entities like BlackRock and Vanguard apply leverage via their holdings, aligning coverage with expansive strategic or fiscal aims, while additional players, lobbyists, political action committees, and global actors add further direction. This corporate media synthesis redefines the Journal Star as a component in an expansive apparatus, where collective reporting during upheavals like COVID-19 elevates official narratives, and shared templates guarantee a consistent digital footprint akin to traditional formats, diminishing the multifaceted essence of journalism. Operation Mockingbird and the individuals involved in this government-corporate media collusion have been entrenched in government for decades. Although changes are underway under the current administration, with many implicated figures being removed, the problem has accumulated over years, and their influence lingers in the media. Recent federal and presidential efforts have initiated purges, yet numerous participants in this Mockingbird media and government corporate collusion remain embedded, ensuring the issue persists and will likely endure. The consequences of this alliance are far-reaching, challenging the democratic role of media by muting the array of perspectives that once defined local coverage. The uniform news output from the Journal Star, rooted in scripted content unity, supplants open dialogue with a singular viewpoint benefiting a narrow elite, corporate leaders, government figures, and their supporters. This loss of journalistic independence extends beyond local boundaries, emerging as a national issue as the publication's adherence to state-endorsed positions, from health crises to social policies, reflects Mockingbird's original intent. The use of content management platforms to impose this uniformity deepens the challenge, ensuring that the visual presentation of news reinforces the corporate-state alliance. In conclusion, the Lincoln Journal Star encapsulates Operation Mockingbird's lasting reach, where centralized editorial authority, hierarchical editorial guidelines, and collective reporting interweave corporate and governmental power. The publication's syndicated content unity and uniform news output sustain a print-online synthesis that furthers Lee's financial goals and state narratives, spanning COVID-19 distortions to DI-driven content. The subcommittee's revelations and historical connections to the Church Committee reveal its role advocating antitrust review of Lee and greater ownership transparency to break this cycle of corporate media synthesis. As a community outlet entangled in this network, The Journal Star's evolution demands reassessment to restore Lincoln's journalistic integrity and sever the threads of steered reporting anchoring it to this legacy. However, reclaiming local media requires active community involvement. Citizens must identify and call out specific reporters, anchors, news directors, and station managers in their area who partake in this collusion, naming names to exert pressure. Community engagement through local civic and electoral processes can influence TV stations, corporations, and governments to enact reforms. Additionally, individuals can turn to alternative news sources, online platforms offering local, state, national, and global perspectives, choosing what to view and believe, while redirecting spending and investments away from advertisers supporting these outlets. Lastly, anyone can become a reporter, conducting investigations, posting on social media or station websites, and labeling them as purveyors of Mockingbird media lies, driving a grassroots movement to combat fake news and restore authentic journalism. The Lincoln Journal-Star perpetuates Operation Mockingbird's legacy via media consolidation and centralized content propagation, blending corporate and government narratives into a pervasive print-online synthesis. With patterned reporting and coordinated dispatches, the publication's hierarchical editorial guidelines erodes local autonomy, reflecting state agendas from COVID-19 misrepresentation to DEI initiatives. The layered ownership framework, guided by investors like BlackRock and Vanguard, enforces syndicated content unity, while church committee parallels underscore this corporate influence. Vigorous antitrust actions and ownership disclosure are crucial to liberate the Journal-Star, reestablishing Nebraska's media as a bastion of truth against the contrived narratives shaping its present, empowered by community action to dismantle this entrenched influence.